Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Lesia the Preacha. Okay. Guys, it has been at least a month since I've done, you know, a reading on YouTube. And I'm just going to get to it. This is just a current energy check. I'm just going to get to it. Um, it's that time of the year where there's a lot going on. And we need to continue to close out cycles. And when I mean close out cycles, well, at least right now, at this moment when I say it, I mean that I'm just saging. Ooh. I mean, there were goals and plans and things that you set at the beginning of the year. And so we're at the end of the year now. We're, approaching the end of the year. 2022 is about to leave. And we need to go back to January, February, March, and look at some of the things that was going on in our lives and see where things are. You know what I mean? And once we see where things are, the things that we can clear up, clean up, close out, that cycle, do it. Do it. Mm-hmm. But how have you guys been over the past, few weeks? How have you been? I'm still, closing out cycles and setting new goals. I'm starting to think about next year, 2023. What needs to be accomplished. Can it be done in a year? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So this is going to be a quick tarot message because I work now. And so I've been working. I have to literally learn independence. I was married for over 30 years. So now I'm divorced and need to learn how to be me by myself, be independent, especially financially. These cards flew out, so I'm going to take them. And they're going to be current, and then you guys know I do past and future. So the Five of Cups. Some of us are still let me think about that for a minute. Because what I want to say is some of us, we're moving on. We're setting new goals. We're doing all the work, self-care, self-love, isolation. All that is happening. But some of us is still feeling, we're mourning. We're still, we still miss some things from the past. Like, for example, you know that you need to be separated. You need to be isolated. You need to move forward. These things. And you're excited about it and you're willing and all that and you're in position. And however, everything wasn't all bad in the past. Everything wasn't bad. There were some good things. And some of us miss the good things. We do. The bad things, caused separation, isolation, and if we're talking relationships, breakups, that kind of thing. The bad things cause that. But some of us do miss the good things. See? Double energy with the Five of Cups in reverse. There were some bad things that happened which caused us to be where we're at today. But it was not all bad. It wasn't all bad. Things needed to end. They had to. The only thing we can do is hope that although the bad things changed our circumstances and situations, and we're missing the good things, all we can do is hope that something can develop from the good. Sometimes people can come back together, but not like it was. Maybe people who were married before can just simply be family now. Just family. You don't have to live together, have sex no more, none of that kind of stuff, relationship stuff. You don't have to do that anymore. But you can still talk to each other, co-parent, hope some good things manifest. That the good will continue to reap itself. Let the good continue to reap. Let the bad things die out. Go ahead and forgive. Forgive the bad stuff. Forgive the bad stuff and focus on the good stuff. So remember how I was saying we need to set new goals coming up for 2023? Well, that's the good stuff. Your goals can come from the good things. Things that still need to be worked on. The good stuff. Good stuff, continue to work on that and develop. Where you once were married and lived together and had sex and all that kind of stuff. Well, now you don't live together. You're seeing other people, but you still may have kids and grandkids, and you may still have to, communicate sometimes, come together sometimes, for the kids and grandkids' weddings and, birthdays. And there are events that you can still connect. Bottom of the deck is future for me. And it's the Two of Cups in reverse. So yeah, look at that. What you once had, what a person, place, or thing, this doesn't have to always be a people. It can be a job. It can be, you used to volunteer somewhere, but you fell out with somebody there, or the situation at the volunteering didn't work and you stopped going. But you miss volunteering, you miss helping people. So, you're going to have to get rid of the old issues. And if you miss volunteering that much, either find a new place to volunteer, or you can go back to the old place and just say, hey, we're not going to deal with that old stuff no more. All that arguing, fighting, backbiting, and, people talking about each other and all that. We got to get rid of that. And we need to come up with some new. We need to maintain the good stuff that's happening, like feeding the hungry, clothing people. You know what I'm saying? So even with relationships, especially with twin flames, there are a lot of twin flames that went through a lot of pain, a lot of disagreements and stuff, and they're separated, divorced. But again, everything was not bad. Everything wasn't bad. There were some good things. Yeah, the bad things was enough to just change everybody's life. Put everybody on a different path. But, again, everything wasn't bad. There were some good things, and those good things are worth holding on to, worth allowing to grow and develop. Some people will always love each other, even though they're not together. I know people that break up, get divorced, whatever. I know the world we live in tells us, it's over, don't talk to that person, all this kind of stuff. Some situations, don't require a permanent separation. You can develop a family relationship, a healthy one. I believe it. I believe it. I've experienced it before, you know. The Knight of Wands. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time to release the toxic, negative, unproductive things like jealousy, envy, competition, arguing, fighting, blaming, you know, shaming, all that. Let all that go. And, you know, hold on to the good things that seems like they're lost. They're not gone. They're not. It's going to take some work to be able to love each other again in a family way. It's going to take some work to go back to the place you volunteered and say, hey, look, I know we didn't get off to a good start, or at some point along the way, things went south. But guess what? I think we can make something happen. I think we can still salvage the good. Even though things are changed and different, we can still, you know, reconnect. But take your time. Because again, you have 12 months. You have a whole year to work on it. To work on the good things. And you don't have to, you know, you don't have to be that, you know, fly by night, you know, fly by the seat of your pants or whatever. You know, you don't have to be quick. Take your time. Take your time to develop. Take your time to develop. Don't rush. Don't rush. And also, with this card here, you know, again, it takes some work, skill, planning. It takes the fruit of the Spirit, which I need to finish the Beatitudes. I only have like maybe 2 Beatitudes left. The Beatitudes is an example of something I started earlier this year. I have been working on it. I put it down for a second because I've been, you know, working, you know, basically almost 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out here. It's hard out here for a pimpette. Got to get out here and make some stuff happen, you know. But it takes effort, prayer, fruits of the Spirit, you know. So I'm going to finish up those Beatitudes, and I'm going to start the fruits of the Spirit. So I'm glad this card came out to remind me, 7 of Cups, that I need to go ahead and finish out the Beatitudes and work on the fruits of the Spirit. It's going to take the fruit of the Spirit to go from divorce to just being family. Yeah. It's going to take the fruit of the Spirit to go from, I hate you, you ruined my life, rah, 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 to being able to forgive and say, hey, you know, things were bad, but things were good too. And I want to work on the good things. The good things are, you know, generational wealth and legacies. You know, we create a good family situation, you know, and this can be between like any family member. You know, you may have fallen out with your kids, your parents, anyone. This doesn't have to be just sexual romantic relationships. It can be any relationship in your life. Parents, kids, lovers, bosses, friends. But no matter what kind of relationship it is, you know, it's going to take it's going to take forgiveness. An acknowledgement of forgiving you too. And you got time to work on it, Lord willing. Lord willing, you have time to work on it. Okay. All right, I like this. Okay, I'm going to leave this right here. I kind of want to go deeper, but again, I got to go to work. I need to fix some breakfast, and let's just take a peek and see what kind of issues we're dealing with here. Because I'm talking very general, I know. So, Mystic Beauty's Easy Tarot. I want her to shed a little bit of light, Holy Spirit, through her cards. And I'm still working on my cards, y'all. I haven't given up on my cards. Y'all know I have my own cards that I'm working on. So, this card is staying there. So, oh, another one came with it. It's two. Okay, the Empress in reverse. And the Queen of Cups. The Empress in reverse and Queen of Cups is coming out with the Five of Cups. The Devil energy. And the Seven of Cups. So we're talking divine feminine energy here. It looks like the divine feminine energy within you as an individual, because we all have both masculine and feminine energy within us individually, because we each are the image of God. We're the image of God, whether we are single, solo, divorced, you know, it's just you, or if you're in a relationship. Each of you have your own feminine and masculine energy, but yet, because you have each other, you kind of employ the physical part of that energy to somebody else. You're allowing someone else to, you know, help you develop your own inner masculine, feminine energy. So, divine femmes, you know, we've been hit hard. We've been hit hard. It's almost like, you know, we were knocked off the throne. Knocked off our thrones, you know. And we've been upset about it. Queen of Cups in reverse. This is an angry, upset, emotional, you know, person. And when I say emotional, I'm not talking like in some, you know, bad, negative way. Like the world try to make it seem like women are emotional. You know, like that's something bad. Men are emotional. Women are logical. The Empress in the upright is a logical woman. The Queen of Cups in the upright is a woman whose emotions are on point. Her emotions are balanced with her logic. But with both cards coming in reverse, all the problems from the relationship, whether this relationship was with your boss, your spouse, your lover, your kid, your parent, you know, whatever problems, negativity, and issues that was going on caused the feminine energy within myself and with you to be out of balance and out of whack. You know, just uneasy, depressed. However, the Seven of Cups came out. The Seven of Cups came out along with this, which means that the divine feminine energy within you, even if you're a man, gender-wise on the outside, you know, your feminine energy within you wants to balance out, wants to get better, be fixed, want to be logical, and have healthy emotions. You want to be able to love without being jealous and hateful. You know? You want to be able to love without being envious. You want to be able to love without putting too much pressure and responsibility on the people on the outside of you. And so the divine feminine is energy within you and me, within us, is working on that. Coming up with all kind of creative ways, you know, considering everything. Again, you know, she is not in a healthy place relationship-wise with her boss, with her spouse, with her parents, kids, and she wants it to be. She wants it to be, and she realized that, it took a long time for all of us to get here. It took years, years of a lot of bad choices. Where we are today in these situations and relationships, it didn't, it didn't happen overnight. It took years for things to be where they are now. It took years. So that's why we take 1 year at a time now. So it's time for us to take inventory. See where things are, what's been completed, what can be closed out, and what's left, the good things, what's left to work on, And then we have the Six of Wands in reverse. Again, not feeling very victorious right now, not feeling like a winner. We are. We're working on improving our life, and there's been a lot of improvement. I would say I am 80% balanced out, and I got about 20% to go. There's still about 20% recovery, but we're always going to be working on ourselves until we leave here. We're always going to be working on ourselves. So there's always going to be something that comes to give us work. But the divine feminine energy within us won't be happy until, things work out. Until things get better. I mean, I'm not going to say won't be happy, but what I'm saying, the feminine energy within us know we got to work on spiritual stuff, emotional stuff, not just logical stuff. The Knight of Cups in reverse. So we got the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse. So again, it took a long time to build up this amount of pain, disappointment. It took years to get here, because when you don't work on the problems and just expect to pray them away, you can't just pray your problems away without working on it. You got to have a plan of action. So I was going to put those cards up, but I'm not. But we're going to go, angel messages. Yeah. Let's do angel messages and we're going to close this out. I'm just going to have to do another video, So I have to have breakfast before I go to work. Ooh, here we go. Okay, so perfect timing. Perfect timing. This is the perfect time of the year for divine feminine energy to keep working. Keep working. Do not give up, divine feminine energy. Do not give up. Because man, woman, mankind, people cannot live by logic alone. You gotta have spirituality. You gotta have emotions. It takes more than a paycheck. I mean, we need money to pay bills now. Don't get it twisted. But you can't just rely on that. Somebody got to be able to keep the morale up in the family. Keep the, emotional and spiritual inspirations going. Somebody got to do it. And this is the perfect time for divine femmes to keep working on it and don't give up. It says, divine timing ordained by the angels, is never too late or too early. You can't put baby in the corner. The Empress in reverse reminds me of putting baby in the corner. Can't do that. I love that movie Dirty Dancing. And I liked it when Patrick Swayze went over there and got her, and made her look like a star. Her own parents were like, huh? That's our daughter? We didn't know she, Retreat. That comes out with the Six of Wands and the Two of Cups. Retreat. In the future, it says, seek and receive consolation from God to overcome a difficult experience. This is a time for reflection, solitude, and contemplation. Contemplate. Remember I said you can't just pray away your problems. Well, yeah, pray, but you gotta reflect. You gotta go in. You gotta have some emotions, and you gotta have some spirituality. You gotta seek God. You have to. Your calling. So in the past, what caused you hope? I'm gonna tell you, hoping things would get better without a plan of action, is what led to, when the problems arise, people just don't deal with the spiritual part of the problems. They don't deal with the emotional part. You just keep getting up and going to work. You don't have a plan of action to tackle the problems. And the problems just keep getting heavier and heavier. So you're calling. You're calling, being hopeful, praying without works, saying is what led to years of, just hoping things to get better, hoping and hoping and hoping. But it takes more than hoping. It takes more than prayer. It takes more. You got to, it says your life's purpose is like an awakening. To put your gifts and talents to good use, you got to put that prayer and that hope to good use and enjoy the journey of life. So in order to enjoy life again, you gotta have a plan. Gotta have a plan. And I like annual plans. I like having a goal at the beginning of the year, working on it, and then making sure that I completed those goals. And the things that worked, good. Roll those things over into the next year. The things that didn't work, figure it out. Figure out what happened, resolve it, close it out. Close it out. When things don't work, don't ignore it. Don't just hope for the best alone. It takes more than hope alone. Faith without works. People say faith without works is dead or something like that. You got to work. You got to have a plan. You got to communicate. Sometimes you have to write things down. You got to follow up on spirituality, on emotions, on everything in your relationships. You got to stay, keep your heart, your mind, your clean. Keep it clean. Stay purged. Keep the good and the bad. Keep it balanced. Make sense out of it. The good and evil in your life, keep it balanced. Make sense out of it. Deal with both. Deal with it. Even the good things in your life has to be planned. Good or bad, you need a plan. The good things, those are easier to manage. The problems, those are the ones that you got to come up with some creative ways to keep your job, keep your relationships, you know, being able to go to the places you want to enjoy, whether you're volunteering, you know, partying, whatever you're doing. It takes work to maintain your life. You got to talk to people. You got to be open, honest. It's worth the risk. Otherwise, you'll be walking around. If you don't solve the problems in your life, you're just going to walk around heavy, depressed, sad, crying, mad, looking just like this all the time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, guys, love you so much. If you need a personal reading, which I have one I got to do. Oh, I have one I got to do. And they gave me permission to record it, so I'm going to try to get to that very soon. All right, so, but if you need one, you can email me at DrLesiaThePreacha at gmail.com. And if you've been blessed by this message, please send a love offering to my Cash App, $DrLesiaThePreacha. Please click like and subscribe. And please leave a comment, you know. And speaking of comments, real quick, I had got a comment on a video, a previous video, and I must have mentioned in the video about the movie Woman King. No, yeah, the Woman King, yeah, which I went to see, and it was so good. I enjoyed it. But there's a lot of controversy around it, boycotting and all that kind of stuff. But, and somebody was like, well, how does it feel? You know, that your ancestors were those people, you know. I feel just fine. I feel just fine. I don't have a problem with where I come from. I don't have a problem with it. Not one bit. Because you may have come from similar people too. You may have come from people who sold you out. And you may have a testimony on how you survived being sold out. Cudjo Lewis, my ancestor, a grandfather, a type of grandfather. I don't know how many greats he is, but one or two great grandfathers. You know what I mean? He was sold by the Dahomey people. He was sold by them. He was from that area, that tribe, and was sold by them into slavery. And how do I feel about that? I'm glad to know. I'm glad to know. And I'm glad that he got here and that he made it. I'm glad that he came here and started a whole city with other slaves, freed ones, freed slaves. I'm glad that he turned it around. And I'm glad I'm an offspring. So that's how I feel. I feel blessed that my ancestor was able to take a bad situation, you know, a bad situation. He took a bad situation and worked it out. He worked it out. It took a long time. It took a long time. But he remembered who he was. He remembered his calling. And he learned to enjoy life anyway. And I'm doing the same thing. You know, in many ways, I was, you know, treated bad in my life. Now, I had a lot of good in my life. I've had a lot of good. I mean, I've danced on TV. I've been in commercials. You know what I'm saying? I've had some really good time. I've been on some wonderful vacations in my life. I've had some good stuff. See, everything don't be bad. Not everything. My entire life is not bad. Now, I've had some really bad stuff that I've endured. Praise God. I endured them. I had to manage through those things. But I had a lot of wonderful stuff too. So that's how I feel about my ancestors. That's how I feel about the Dahomey tribe. You know, For whatever reason, they end up being involved with the slave trade, selling off their own people, including my ancestor. You know what I mean? And he came over here and he did his slavery time. And when he was free, he worked and built a town. So I'm proud. I'm proud of knowing where I'm from. I'm proud of knowing my history. Did I personally have anything to do with the Dahomey tribe selling themselves off? Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. And you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that Cudjoe Lewis made it. He made it. He turned a bad situation around into something good. And that's what each of us are supposed to do. So I enjoyed the movie. Yeah. The women were like, they were tough. I couldn't have been one of them women personally. But they were some tough women. And even if they were involved with the process, which they were, because I mean they had a king. They had a king to obey. You know what I mean? But the movie implied that they also put effort into helping turn it around. Just like Saul turned into Paul. Saul in the Bible, he used to kill believers. He used to go around killing believers. But God himself struck that man down, turned him around, recruited him. He became a believer, and then he went to add to the kingdom. So, you know, I'm thankful. Thankful to have escaped all that. I'm glad that I'm alive today during this time and not during that time and didn't have to deal with that. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. You know, but you yourself may have come from a similar ancestry background as I have. Do your research and find out. So that's how I feel about it. All right? I love you. Bye.